I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So happy to be here today with none other than the President of the University of Houston Downtown Go Gators,
Go
with
Gators.
Dr. Lauren Blanchard. Welcome.
Thank you so very much. Always appreciate being here with you.
Well, we appreciate the ongoing partnership with you and your team at the University of Houston Downtown. And it's such a vital campus and an international one that means so much to our great city as we know the importance of higher ed. So tell us a little bit about UH Downtown and some of the great news you'd like to share.
Thank you so much, Laura. I really appreciate you. We've received quite a bit of information and attention lately, which is a testament to the great work that we are doing here at the University of Houston Downtown, certainly by our faculty and staff. UHD, as you well know, has a vibrant, connected, and dedicated community, and it has for nearly 50 years now. I stand on the shoulders, so to speak, of presidents who came before me and who left a really solid foundation to build upon. In 2021, as part of our strategic plan, we set a goal to increase the visibility of the university so that our community would know truly what a gift the University of Houston Downtown is to the city of Houston. We are seeing the fruit of that labor. So there are three things I just want to update you on that we're really excited about. And all three of these are really on the academic front. One is on the social front as well. So first is that we have launched a Master of Science in Artificial Intelligence in the fall of 2022. And that program has already garnered recognition as a top pick of the very best master's programs in artificial intelligence by AI Degree Guide. We were listed alongside some of the nation's top tech universities, including Rochester Institute of Technology, Duke University, Carnegie Mellon University, and Johns Hopkins universities. It's a program that we're most excited about and is on the move, and certainly want everyone to know about it. Secondly, I think that's something that we're excited about is that selected business accounting majors at UHD who are within 18 months of graduating now have the opportunity to participate in a mentorship program that's developed with the IRS Criminal Investigation Special Agents. This is the first program of its kind that the IRS has partnered with the university with, and it's an example of the kind of robust partnerships we are after at the University of Houston Downtown. Partnerships that really equip our students through real-life, career-focused experiences. And lastly, but certainly not least, we continue to advance our work around student mental health. This semester, we launched a partnership with JED Campus and the JED Foundation that will guide us through a rigorous self-assessment of our mental health and emotional well-being efforts, as well as implementation of a comprehensive system and results-driven policies. All of this work around mental health is really important as we continue to see rising anxiety in young adults across our country, and certainly here at UHD as well, which has been a considerable concern since the onset of COVID-19. The COVID effect hasn't gone away, and we expect to continue to experience the effect in the years ahead. So we're working very diligently to ensure that we remain steady for the needs of our students, and we aim to assure families that we are doing everything in our wheelhouse to protect and nurture our students' mental health.
Well,
those are the top three.
Those are some incredible goals, accomplishments, etc., especially given the fact that UH Downtown is celebrating 50 years.
50 years, yes.
So from your perspective, what's next as you see all of these growing opportunities, and it sounds as if you're really ahead of them. What are some of the other things you're looking forward to?
So you just mentioned earlier about media placements in the first question that you raised. And one of those placements was an article that was on the front page recently of the Houston Chronicle about the future of UHD. And so at our 50th anniversary kickoff event, I unveiled plans to expand both our campus and our academic programming. The future of UHD is a much more cohesive campus, no longer separated by I-45 and I-10. We envision a campus that is more pedestrian friendly with green space, increased green space, and this is the part we're very excited about, residential housing for our students, along with an expansion of the UHD footprint into the warehouse district of Houston. On the academic side, we're expanding programs at both the undergraduate and graduate levels. The first of these programs are already emerging. We already have on tap for fall 2025 a Master of Science in Social Work, which we're mega excited about, as well as a Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity. And then we also have more than 10 additional programs that's outlined in our academic master plan, including additional programming in engineering, technology, green technology, computer science, and artificial intelligence at the baccalaureate level. So we've got lots on tap, and I am just mega excited about all the great things that's happening at UHD now and certainly for the future.
Well, and you should be, and we appreciate the opportunity to continue to partner with you and the team at the University of Houston downtown. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is the leading advocate for the Hispanic business community. In Houston, we represent over $54 billion per year in consumer spending. Our thanks to our board and staff for making sure we elevate business and advocate for a stronger economy.
Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We have many nonprofit partners that have joined us at the Chamber, and we were happy to host our annual luncheon most recently with our friends over at San Jose Clinic. Today, none other than Dr. Margot Melcher, who is the President and CEO. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Murillo. It's great to be here with you today.
We're so proud of you leading up this such a very important entity in our city, providing services that are much needed in our community, and of course, with a long history. So tell us about San Jose Clinic, please.
Sure. So as you mentioned, we do have quite a long history here in the city of Houston. It all started in 1922. Monsignor Walsh at that time saw that there was an alarming increase in infant mortality along the Mexican-American infants, and saw that there was needing to be something to be done for the situation. So at that time, he reached out to a group of ladies who were then known as, or now known as, our Catholic Charity Guild of Women. There were 59 of them, and they each donated $1. And with that, they were able to open a clinic over in our Second Ward area, which I know you know that very well, growing up in that area. And it was over on Franklin Street. And so through efforts of reaching out to various doctors, the first doctor that ever volunteered at the clinic was Dr. Scardino. From there, then they recruited nurses, dentists, eye doctors, anyone that would want to contribute their time, as well as donations for the clinic. So up until probably about 3 years after that, of course, the need was quite large for more patients coming in, needing to be seen. And so they moved their location down to Canal Street. And it was then known as the Mexican Clinic, is the way that they referred to it back then. But despite the name, they still saw other ethnic backgrounds. It wasn't just for the Hispanic community. So they were in full force in operation. And again, to this day, it is led through a volunteer model, which we do employ a medical staff, dental staff, pharmacy staff. But our specialty care is pretty much on our volunteer basis. And then I believe it was in 1947, I take that back. The bishop at that time decided to rename the clinic to San Jose Clinic. And at that time, then we also moved over off of Hamilton Street, which is now known, I think, as Parking Lot A of Minute Maid Park. So that's where my introduction to the clinic began. When I was a student at a UT Health School of Dentistry, we did a rotation through there, and we would do community service. And with Catholicism being my faith, it was just such a natural fit for me. And so I began volunteering at that time. And to this day, who would have thought I would have been serving and leading this role? But I will say in 2010, we then moved to our current location here at the Christus Foundation for Healthcare. And we do have another satellite clinic in the Fort Bend County. It was post-Hurricane Harvey that there was a need for care over there as well. So Our Lady of Guadalupe provided their parking lot. We had a modular building gifted to us, and so that is where our clinic is today there. And we opened a pharmacy there in October of last year. So quite a bit of history there, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And I had no idea the connection between Mexican Clinic and San Jose Clinic. All of my vaccinations and every cough and cold I ever had, I remember my mother walking me to the clinic because it
Wow.
was the closest. They were so friendly, and everyone in our neighborhood went there to get all our vaccinations right before school started. And I was so thrilled to tour the location with you most recently. And what a first class building, clinic for the people that you are serving, friendly, inviting, the volunteers with smiles on their faces. And I had no idea the scope of services, everything from physical therapy to therapy, eye doctors, as you mentioned. And two things that struck me: welcoming environment, the smiles on the faces of those you all were serving, and the scope of services that you all offered. And so, talk to me now, Dr. Melcher, a little bit more about the community that you're serving and what are the opportunities for people who may want to volunteer?
Sure. So I would say predominantly our patients are a Hispanic population, and it's about a 66% of women. As you know, being a mom, sometimes you put yourself on the back burner for to care for your families and your children, and especially for the population that we here serve is the uninsured population, and for those that are up to the 250 poverty level. And so when these women come into our clinic, unfortunately, they may suffer from several medical conditions sort of intertwining. It's a vicious circle. But we're able to help them through our disease state management programs that we have here. So predominantly in the Hispanic community, diabetes, high cholesterol are common. And so with this disease state management program, we can help support them, can help guide them so that they can hopefully get off of the medication or at least decrease the amount or the dosages. But I will say we are getting ready to employ a new chief medical officer in June. And it has a focus on wanting to get this to be more family centered. And so we look forward to increasing that as well, to serving those, because as I stated, we are for the uninsured. We're not a federally qualified health clinic, so we don't get state or government support. It's purely grants and donors. And of course, as you mentioned, through volunteers. So we are always looking for volunteers that have a day or a half a day, maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks, that can come and volunteer on a pretty consistent basis. We just honored Dr. Mary Neal. She's a gynecologist. She came from Texas Women's, and she has been volunteering since 2009. So we have such incredible volunteers and staff members. I think I pointed out to you when you were here, we have 2 staff members that have been here, one 40 years and one 43 years.
Amazing. And as you mentioned, funding critical, and being Catholic based, as you mentioned, there are things that are available to you, such as grants, philanthropists, individuals, and again, volunteers. And so if you're watching and you want more information, please visit their website. Dr. Margot, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.
The Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is the leading advocate for the Hispanic business community. In Houston, we represent over $54 billion per year in consumer spending. Our thanks to our board and staff for making sure we elevate business and advocate for a stronger economy.
Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm so happy to welcome our 2023 chairman. He also happens to be the Texas Market President for Fifth Third. He's going to talk to us a little bit about that, his involvement with the chamber, and all the great things that Fifth Third is doing in this city. Please welcome Scott Silvas. He is the Texas Market President. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Laura. Delighted to be here as a sponsor in my role as a Texas Market President for Fifth Third Bank, also in my privileged role as chair of the board of the Hispanic Chamber, and also as a 20-year member and participant in the Chamber as a whole. Delighted to be here. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. It has been fantastic to see your career trajectory, and for you to be leading Fifth Third is a great honor. And we're so proud of you and the team. And speaking of, I can't believe it, 1 quarter down. What are you seeing? What are you hearing?
Yes, I really think just the simple turn of the year into 2024 was a very welcomed transition for business owners, the business community. 2023, once again, just had some challenges, certainly with the banking crisis and SVB bank fallout. Obviously, everyone's still adapting to a much higher interest rate environment, higher than we've been in the last 20 years. And just the volatility that the market saw last year. Turning into 2024 in the first quarter, I think quickly saw a really strong rebound, increased level of M&A activity, growing optimism in terms of rates holding steady and very likely to decline this year. I think really purely less volatility means more confidence. So we are seeing, and we're operating in Texas. A lot of the business owners we work with are here, based in Houston, or large part of their operations are in Texas. And we still have continued to see a tremendous amount of population growth, in-migration, investment of business owners. So really a lot more optimism. We're not necessarily clearly out of the woods. There's some uncertainty. It's an election year. But to compare and contrast to last year, the first quarter was absolutely a great start to the year in 2024.
So part of your role as a banker, as a bank and whole, is to help position and prepare your clients for the environment. What is coming, what is trending, what to look forward to. Give us some thoughts and what you're saying to your clients currently.
Sure. And I would, again, acknowledge that last year was a tough time for banks. You saw a lot of banks having to quickly provide confidence to their clients in terms of their capital position, their liquidity, what's the makeup of their deposits, could there be a potential flight on the bank that no one was expecting to see with some very large banks last year. So the better part of last year, I think a lot of banks were internally focused, making sure clients were okay and trying to provide some assurances. That said, I think it put a strain on certain relationships. And so I think for us at Fifth Third, we're really proud and happy to point to 165 years of existence, strong and stable and steady bank. If you really look at performance, Fifth Third Bank outperformed the peer group in terms of just deposit growth, ability to grow in the attractive markets, new client acquisition. And really, our Texas team and our Houston team were a big part of that contribution. So still at the forefront is how strong is the relationship with your banking partner? How prepared are they to support you now that your business owners are optimistic and ready to invest and grow and expand? Do they have the confidence that they've got the right banking partner to support them? That's still the beginning of a lot of our conversations. And fortunately, the bank continues to stand behind our clients. We're very active with M&A financing, real estate financing, working with business owners to provide automation in their treasury and account function with how they collect and how they make payments, strategic capital advice in terms of advising on what's their acquisition strategy. Might they be thinking about even exploring a different alternative with their business and maybe even selling their business? So a bank of our size, we really are focusing on the client first. What condition are they in? How do they see this year? And then after that, we are able to pair a lot of resources and subject matter experts to really support them.
And we also know everybody's keeping up with the Fed, what's going to happen next. We're looking for clues. I was just at one of their big meetings recently, a couple of weeks ago, and everyone's optimistic, hoping fourth quarter is a time when these interest rates will drop. And certainly in the interim, business as usual, right? I mean, people are out there buying, selling, but I do think what it does is it opens the door for people, especially entrepreneurs, that are looking for other opportunities, or even talking to banks that are not their normal regular go-to, right? They're shopping much more.
Absolutely. I think they recognize when there's an opportunity, they have to strike and strike fast. And if they don't have the confidence that their banking partner can move at the pace that they need them to and really provide them the options and give them the support, they're going to have to find that somewhere else. And that's going to happen. I do think the fact that the outlook is that rates will be reduced. It is very likely to have a rate reduction sometime this year. It keeps getting pushed back, and now here we are getting into the second quarter. The notion that maybe might not be until the end of the year, and maybe rates don't even get reduced at all this year is really a high potential. I think there's going to be less likelihood to do any type of rate reduction as we get close to the election. The data right now still suggests that inflation remains high. The job market is really strong. So I think business owners are recognizing they've got to make those decisions now and really make sure they've got the right banking partner to support them.
Well, we thank you for your investment in the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, your ongoing support, and everything that you and your team have done to make sure that our annual luncheon was a success, and so many other things that we do, Scott. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you real soon.
Thank you as well.
My name is Bob Marcus, and I run the Capital Markets Division at Fifth Third Bank. We're part of a one-bank team, which means we spend time understanding the client, their needs, and creating solutions to meet those needs. It's not about a transaction, it's not about a product, it's about what's best for the client over a longer period of time. At Fifth Third Bank, we use our expertise and innovation to create solutions that help businesses run better. This is Banking, a Fifth Third Better.
Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. What a pleasure it is to recognize this entrepreneur. We've known her for many, many years, and it's been phenomenal to see her success, her growth, not only locally, nationally, but also her work globally. So you're going to meet her now. Her name is Bianca Bucaram, President and founder of the Bucaram Public Relations Group. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Murillo. It's been actually a great introductory story. You were one of my first job interviews in the city of Houston, and it is such a remarkable full circle moment here to, be reached out to and just to honor you for all of your amazing work that you've done in the chamber. And thank you so much for continuing to make our city profitable and to put us on the map in terms of what Hispanics are doing.
Well, thank you so much. Of course, it's teamwork. We've got a small but mighty team. Our staff is comprised of only 4 full-time people, but we do the best we can. And it's just a real delight to see the growth, not only of this chamber, but of individuals such as yourself, that you're doing work and how important public relations is. And so from best practices, give us some advice for entrepreneurs and others that are looking for services and need to know where they start.
Yeah, PR is such an unsung service. Sometimes you don't realize that PR and marketing go hand in hand, but you see somebody digitally on an ad, but it's really what you think about them and how you feel about them that is what PR really does, right? It creates that awareness of who they are and why you love them, why you want to work with them, their reputation. So I work across all different platforms in the media. So from TV to radio to print, right? And it's all about that comprehensive 360 opportunity for someone to tell their story, right? Because it feels a little icky sometimes getting out there telling your own story. Like, gosh, am I the one patting myself on the back? Or how am I communicating that I have this expertise, whether it be in finance, in politics, in chamber opportunities, voicing a voice for the Hispanic community and getting that voice heard by a massive audience, right? So we have so many different channels, and it used to be a very traditional experience where you would sit across the table and you would shake somebody's hand and you would have a relationship that would turn into something. And how do you quantify that? Well, now in the digital age, it's crazy because you have to do both. You have to do traditional relationship building and non-traditional PR, which is the social media aspect. It's the Facebook posts, it's the Instagram posts, it's the YouTube and Zoom links and all of the above, right? Because we've become this hybrid society where people live and communicate online, but also do business in person. So PR is kind of the crossroads between how we do both successfully to get your story out and in terms of nonprofits, also raise money and awareness.
Yes, and so a lot of confusion around PR, marketing, and advertising. And to be successful, you need a little bit of both, or all 3, if you will.
Mm-hmm. And it's difficult because advertising, there's always some sort of data, right? There's always something, a report you can pull, like I served this many ads to this many people, you're paying this many cents per click, blah, blah, blah. But how do you put a value on a relationship? You and I have built relationships together through the course of the years that now, there's different opportunities that come to the table and X person, Y person will come to us and say, hey, I remember you from 10 years ago. You're my girl. Let's work on this together, right? So there's no value you can really put on a relationship, and you don't necessarily know when it'll activate. You just know that as you endorse somebody and they have the need, they'll remember you, right? And that's
Well,
our job.
and that these things take time, sometimes years before they end up with something that you can quantify, right? And so you go back to basics. Start with the relationship, your name, your branding, your marketing, your PR, your work. You have to work it. You have to be consistent. And I've heard you say you have to be your authentic self, whether it's on social media or elsewhere. You have to do all of these things. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs and business people who say, I don't want to do any of that. I don't like
And
it.
don't be
I've
in
never done it
business.
before. I mean, so many people, right? But the truth is that we must change with the times, and the times have changed. And in many ways, it's a lot more work. At the same time, your reach is global, right? And so this is why the work that Bianca does with her Bucaram Public Relations Group is so important, because she's here to guide you on those steps to make sure your message is being translated and it's visible, and you're building your brand. And I think as Latinos, sometimes we have some challenges with that because it's not necessarily intuitive. However, successful people understand the importance of building their personal brand, their work brand, their company brand, and you're there, I know, Bianca, to help. So on that note, you've had some great wins. Give us some example of some of the great things you've had happen this year.
Thank you so much. Well, this year, and thank you so much for your support. The Houston Business Journal recognized me as one of this year's 40 under 40, which I'm so appreciative of. The Houston City Book Magazine called me one of this year's 100 coolest people. But you know what? Much like you, I attribute all of that to service, and service to the community, service to the globe. One of the nonprofits that I work with, called the Global Empowerment Mission, we helped them raise $12 million in 1 week through the national media that we did. So we started, it was for the war in Ukraine. My client called me the day before it broke out, and he said, Bianca, I'm about to do the most ballsy thing I've ever done. And I said, client, what are you talking about? And he said, verbatim, I repeat, my sources tell me that a war is going to break out in Ukraine. And I said, excuse me, what? And he said, I need you to get on your little software, call all the news desks in America, and let them know that the Global Empowerment Mission will be on the border of Poland and Ukraine when the war breaks out, and I will be available for interviews. I'm getting on the plane now. Talk to you in the morning. And I said, okay. So in blind faith, I wrote a pitch, I sent it out, no joke, woke up in the morning, the Today Show, MSNBC, CNBC, all of the above, CNN, Anderson Cooper had reached out because indeed the war had broken out. So me, I'm not a junior publicist at this point. I've been doing higher level things, but you want to talk about some real serious, like, put your story together, get your facts straight, make sure the internet is up and working in a war zone when, it's really scary, right? That's why Will Blitzer has all these situation room, expertise, because it's very scary. It's very nerve wracking. And you have to make sure, oh my goodness, are all my facts correct? Is all my data straight? Is all my technology working? It's really scary. So next thing you know, throughout the course of the whole week, I mean, we have just been interview, and people start building equity and trust in this company and this global nonprofit. And now we have over 5 warehouses across the globe and $100 million grant from somebody last year because of all of this amazing PR and the storytelling and the genuine need for people to see what these humanitarians are doing underneath the surface. So it's a huge win, right? So
It's
storytelling
an
does work.
absolute huge win, and it certainly is a great story of a young woman I met many years ago who came to pitch her case at the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And I have watched you work very hard to get where you are. So proud of you, wishing you continued success, and that the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is right here for you. Have a great day, Bianca. Bye-bye.
Thank you.